Hey there, friends. Welcome to our channel, where we don't just summarize books, we break them down with heart. Pull out the core ideas, look at the familiar from new angles, and dive into what truly matters. If you're someone who wants to read more mindfully, think deeper, and actually apply what you learn, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into one of the most provocative yet liberating books of recent years, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Now, Mark Manson isn't a psychologist, coach, or guru. He started as a blogger, shared his thoughts online, and quickly gained a massive following thanks to his raw, honest, and often blunt writing style. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's not here to tell you to just believe in yourself, and everything will be fine. He's not promoting toxic positivity. What he is saying is, stop lying to yourself. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck isn't a guide to being apathetic. It's a book about figuring out what truly matters to you and letting go of all the things that drain your energy, distract you, or never really mattered in the first place. It's a book about responsibility, honesty, and finding a stable inner core in a world that's constantly screaming for your attention. In this video, we're doing a deep dive into the entire book. This isn't just a quick summary or a top 5 takeaways list. It's a full analysis. What Manson is really saying, why it resonates with so many people, what ideas you can apply right now, and which ones are worth sitting with a little longer. We'll explore key chapters, break down major themes, look at standout quotes, and offer some reflections, all with zero fluff and no fake hype. And now, I'll ask just one small thing from you. If this kind of content speaks to you, if you want to see more thoughtful book breakdowns, more videos where the meaning matters just as much as the words, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow and shows us you're vibing with what we're doing here. Give this video a thumbs up if you think someone else might benefit from it too, and drop a comment below. What have you decided not to give a damn about anymore? And did it bring you more peace? Thanks for being here. Truly, this isn't just a video. This is a conversation, and your voice matters. One important note, all quotes, excerpts, and references from the book are used under fair use, strictly for educational, analytical, and critical purposes. This video is not a replacement for the book itself. It's an invitation to engage with it more deeply and intentionally. Now, take a moment and imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a noisy, chaotic city. Cars are honking. Someone's yelling into their phone. Ads are blaring from every screen. And on the internet, thousands of voices are arguing over how you should live your life. Some say, be productive. Others, chill out and go with the flow. Then there are those who scream, change yourself right now, become better, be successful, attractive, confident, make more money, travel the world, meditate, hustle, don't get mad, don't waste time, get off your phone, but also stay online 24/7. The world is loud. It pressures you. It feeds you expectations, comparisons, ideals. And at some point, you stop knowing if you're even living your own life or just playing out someone else's script. So now pause, take a deep breath, and let it go slowly. Now ask yourself the question that Mark Manson puts front and center. What do I truly give a damn about? That's the heart of this book. Not about ignoring life, but learning to cut the noise, to stop fearing imperfection, to choose your values and actually live by them, instead of chasing standards fed to you by screens and strangers. If you're tired of the constant race, if you're done with all the shoulds, the pressure to always be more, do more, be perfect, then this book is for you, and this breakdown is for you, too. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Life is pain, and that's okay. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning. You scroll through your feed. Someone just bought a house. Someone else is sipping coconut water on a beach in Bali. Another person launched a startup, ran a marathon, and posted a photo of their perfect 5:30 a.m. routine with coffee and meditation. And then there's you, just waking up, tired, maybe a bit anxious, maybe not in the mood. And that thought creeps in, what's wrong with me? Why don't I feel happy? Why am I not inspired? Why am I not in the zone or crushing it? That's exactly where Mark Manson begins. He says, pain is a part of life. It's normal. You're not broken. You haven't failed. You're just human, and humans suffer. Life is essentially a series of problems. Either you're solving them or you're feeling bad about them. In other words, life isn't meant to be nonstop joy. It's a never-ending stream of problems. You're either dealing with them or you're feeling the weight of them. And strangely enough, that's where the meaning lies. When Manson says life is suffering, he's not being negative. He's actually echoing something ancient Buddhism. Buddha's first great insight wasn't a feel-good mantra. It was this: life is full of suffering. But what made him a teacher was what he did next. He didn't run from pain. He didn't numb it. He looked it straight in the eye. And instead of resisting it, he understood it. And that's where freedom begins. Manson makes a powerful point here. Suffering isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. Here's a simple way to think about it. You want to be in great shape? There's going to be pain, workouts, early mornings, sore muscles. You want to build meaningful relationships? Pain, conflict, vulnerability, compromise, honesty. You want success in your career? Pain, setbacks, pressure, long hours, criticism. But here's the twist. That pain doesn't block growth. That pain is growth. In today's world, we're constantly sold this illusion. If you're doing things right, life should feel smooth. You should be in flow, in balance, in alignment. But Manson says that's a trap. Pain doesn't mean you're off track. It might mean you're actually on the right one. When you stop chasing endless positivity and start accepting discomfort as part of the process, something changes. You begin to notice. Struggles aren't signs you're failing. They're signs you're engaged. They show you care, that you're trying, that you're moving towards something meaningful. The main message of this chapter: pain is not the enemy. It's a compass. If you're struggling, don't immediately blame yourself. It might be a signal you're finally stepping into something that matters. And strangely, when you stop resisting pain and accept it as part of the path, that's when relief comes. What you can take with you from this chapter: don't expect life to be easy. The expectation of ease causes more suffering than the difficulty itself. Stop chasing constant happiness. Happiness isn't a goal. It's a byproduct of moving in the right direction. Pain isn't a red light. It's a road sign. Pay attention. Something here matters. This is only the first chapter, but it sets the tone for the whole book. Manson doesn't hand out tricks to avoid suffering. He invites you to understand why you suffer and to choose your suffering wisely. Because in the end, it's not pain that breaks us. It's meaningless pain. And next, we'll talk about how to choose the kind of struggle that actually makes you stronger, and how to stop giving your energy to the kind that leads nowhere. Let's move on. Chapter 2. What deserves your care? Picture this. You're holding a watering can, just a small one, and in front of you, an entire forest. You try to water every tree, every leaf, every blade of grass. You run around, spilling water, getting tired, frustrated, and yet the forest still looks dry. Why? Because your resources are limited, and the forest is infinite. That's exactly how it works with your attention, your energy, your care. You simply can't care about everything. You can't worry about every problem, every opinion, every detail of life. You can't be everything to everyone. And here's where the real magic of not giving a darn begins. Not caring doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means being intentional. People often misunderstand this concept. They think not caring means being numb, checked out, or emotionally shut down. But healthy detachment, real conscious not giving, is this: I choose what matters to me. The rest I let go. It's saying, this I will fight for. This I will feel deeply about. This I will show up for. But that, the gossip, the noise, the comparison, the pressure to please strangers on the internet, I'm not wasting another drop of energy on it. Mark Manson makes a bold but liberating point. You can't be great at everything, but you can be truly great at what matters most to you. Sounds simple, but it's actually a quiet revolution, because we're raised to believe: always try harder, don't disappoint, be the best, be liked, fit in, and we grow up carrying everyone's expectations on our backs. We measure ourselves with other people's rulers, until one day we burn out from caring too much about things that don't feed us. And that's when this mindset steps in, not as avoidance, but as emotional clarity. I decide what gets my energy and what doesn't. Here's a practical example. You post something online, maybe a video, an idea, a piece of your art. Someone comments, not impressive. I've seen better. You now have a choice. Spend hours feeling hurt, defending yourself, overthinking. Pause and ask, does this person matter to me? Do I respect their opinion? Were they even my intended audience? If the answer is no, you let it go, not because you're rude, but because you're free. One of Manson's strongest lines is this: everyone wants to feel special, but you are not special, and that's okay. What does he mean? He means we don't have to prove ourselves to everyone. We don't have to chase approval to feel valuable. We can stop trying to win at everything and start living on our own terms. And that's when we begin to thrive. The core message of this chapter: not caring is a tool, a filter, a compass. It doesn't make you less human. It makes you more focused. Because when you stop pouring yourself into everything, you can finally water that one tree you actually want to see grow. What to take with you. You don't need to carry every worry. Let go of what's not yours. True strength isn't in caring about everything. It's in knowing what truly matters. Choose your battles. Not every should or must is meant for you. So now, take a moment to reflect. What do you no longer want to invest your energy in? What deserves your care and what doesn't? In the next chapter, we'll dive even deeper. How to choose the kind of pain that's worth it, and how to stop wasting effort on the pain that leads nowhere. Let's keep going. Chapter 3. You are not special, and that's a good thing. From the moment we're little, we're told you're special. You're one of a kind. You're meant for something big. You're not like everyone else. You're a snowflake, unique, unmatched, born for greatness. Sounds inspiring, right? But here's the problem. That belief can turn into a trap. You start living like there's a constant spotlight on you, like the whole world is waiting for your big performance. Every decision must be perfect. Every mistake, a crisis. Every moment, a chance to prove your worth. And one day, you wake up exhausted. In a culture where everyone is told they're special, being ordinary starts to feel like failure. Mediocrity becomes shameful. If you're not the best, the smartest, richest, most talented, you start thinking you're nobody. But Mark Manson says, you are not special, and that's a good thing. Because hidden in that realization is freedom. You no longer have to prove your worth every second. You can finally just live, make mistakes, be awkward, learn, take breaks, disappear for a while, come back, try again. You can just be you. Manson shares his own story. He spent years trying to be somebody, trying to impress, to be seen, to be admired, trying to matter. And every time he felt like a fake, like he was acting in a role he never auditioned for. He was chasing a version of himself that didn't feel real. And then one day he let go. He stopped chasing exceptionalism and started choosing honesty. That's when everything shifted. He realized that real value doesn't come from being unique. It comes from being real. Society tells us, you can be anything, you're meant to change the world, don't settle for average. Sounds great. Until it crushes you. Until you realize that trying to be exceptional every day leaves no room to be human. But here's the truth. 99% of people are average. That doesn't make them worthless. That makes them human. You might not invent anything revolutionary. You might not become a billionaire or an influencer, but you can be a kind friend, a thoughtful partner, a present parent, a steady, caring human being. And that, honestly, is extraordinary in itself. This chapter isn't about lowering the bar. It's about stepping out of a race you never signed up for. You don't have to constantly prove you're worthy of love, success, or even attention. You don't need to be the most interesting person in the room. You get to be you. And that's the most sustainable, honest thing you can offer the world. Stop trying to prove. Start learning to just be. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Letting go of your need to be special doesn't mean giving up on growth. It means giving up on delusion. You stop chasing perfection, and you start building something real from where you are. 3 takeaways from this chapter. You don't have to be exceptional to be valuable. Stop trying to impress. Start trying to live honestly. Life isn't a stage. It's a path. Walking it with presence, that's enough. And here's a question worth asking. How much pain have you carried trying to be something you're not? How many masks have you worn just to avoid feeling average? Now imagine this. You drop the masks. You stop performing. You return to yourself. And suddenly, everything gets a little quieter, a little more real, a little more you. Because when you no longer need to be special, you finally get to be free. In the next chapter, we'll explore the idea that pain isn't just part of life, it's something we choose. And maybe, just maybe, that choice holds more power than we think. Stick around. We're only just getting started. Chapter 4, Responsibility More Than Blame. There's a phrase that might sound like a slap in the face at first, but the more you sit with it, the more you realize this is the key to freedom, to maturity, to truly living. It might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. Tough pill to swallow, right? When you're hurting, when someone betrayed you, let you down, left you behind, everything inside of you cries out for justice. You want someone to admit it, to fix it, to make it right. And yes, you're absolutely right. You're not at fault. But here's the question. How long are you willing to wait for someone else to decide your life matters again? This is one of the most powerful concepts in Mark Manson's book, the distinction between blame and responsibility. Blame is about what happened. Responsibility is about what you do next. Manson shares a simple metaphor. Imagine someone broke your favorite toy when you were a kid. You cried. You didn't ask for it. It wasn't fair. Fast forward to now. The toy is long gone. But the feeling? Still there. Now it's your choice. Do you keep holding that broken memory? Keep replaying the pain? Or do you pick up the pieces, gather your tools, and start fixing? Maybe the fix won't be perfect. Maybe the cracks will show. But now it's yours. You reclaimed it. And in that act, you step into adulthood. In our culture, the word responsibility often sounds heavy, like punishment, like obligation, like you have to, but Manson reframes it. He says, responsibility isn't punishment. It's power. It's what gives you agency. You can choose not to take responsibility, and then life just happens to you. Or you can say, this is mine now, and I'm going to do something about it. Not because it's fair, not because you deserve what happened, but because no one else will live your life for you. Let's be real. We all carry something unfair, something that didn't go the way it should have, something we didn't choose. And the first instinct is to push it away, to say, not my fault equals not my problem. But look at how that works. As long as you hold on to blame, you stay stuck. You're waiting for an apology, for closure, for justice. But when you say, it happened, and now I decide what to do with it, you take back control. You're the one steering the ship again, maybe through a storm, maybe with a busted sail. But still you're the captain now. Quick story. A woman was left just weeks before her wedding. Months of pain, confusion, shame. Why did this happen? What's wrong with me? Then one day, she flipped the narrative. I didn't choose this, but I get to choose what happens next. She moved, changed careers, started over. Not because it didn't hurt, but because she was done waiting to be rescued. Here's the power of it. You're not to blame for being lied to, but you can decide who you trust next. You're not at fault for the love you didn't receive, but you can choose to give it to yourself now. You didn't pick your childhood, but you can choose how you'll raise your own kids. Responsibility isn't a burden. It's your leverage. Key takeaways from this chapter. You're not always to blame for what happens, but you're always responsible for how you respond. Responsibility isn't about guilt. It's about reclaiming your power. When you take responsibility, you're not excusing others. You're freeing yourself. Now, here's a question for you, and take a moment with this. Is there something in your life that you've been blaming someone else for? But deep down, you know only you can change it? Don't rush your answer. Just notice it. Sometimes, the first step toward freedom is a quiet moment of truth with yourself. In the next chapter, we'll talk about values, which ones move us forward and which ones secretly hold us back. It's going to get personal. See you there. Chapter 5, Values that Mess Up Your Life. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, check your phone, and you're instantly thrown into a storm of comparison. Someone's on vacation. Someone's crushing in business. Someone's glowing with their best version, energy. And you? It's just another Tuesday. That's when the voice inside starts whispering. You should be trying harder. Be better. Keep up. Prove yourself. That voice, it's not really you. It's the echo of your values, or more accurately, the ones that are quietly working against you. Values as your inner map, according to Mark Manson. Our values work like a GPS. They define what's right, what to aim for, what to avoid. But here's the catch. If your GPS is broken, where is it taking you? This is where real transformation begins. Manson doesn't just call out bad values. He shows how they actually make your life harder, messier, more stressful. And the worst part? Most of us are following these bad values without even realizing it. Examples of destructive values. I must always be right. Turns every conversation into a fight. You don't listen, you don't grow, you just offend. Everyone should like me. Forces you to morph yourself to please others. You lose yourself trying to fit in. I need to be successful. But success keeps moving further away because you're measuring yourself with someone else's ruler. I must be in control. But life is chaos. And the more you try to grip it, the more anxious you feel. Manson's point is clear. These aren't just ineffective values. They are values that fracture your compass. You don't know who you are, where you're going, or why you're even trying. The illusion of control. Why do we even choose harmful values? Because they sell the illusion of control. Control over how people see us. Control over outcomes. Over success. It feels like, if I just try hard enough, I can make it all work. But it's not true. You can't control how others feel about you. You can't control what the world throws at you. But you can choose how to respond. And you can choose the values you live by. Healthy values equals inner stability. Manson offers a new lens. Values that don't depend on status or someone else's approval. Instead of being right, be open to learning. Instead of being be honest. Instead of control, choose acceptance. Instead of success, seek growth. This isn't about giving up. It's about growing up. Because healthy values don't scream for attention. They quietly guide you from within. Why harmful values lead to burnout. Toxic values look great from the outside. You win the argument, gain the followers, hit the milestone. But inside, you're drained. You win the debate, but lose connection. You get the likes, but feel alone. You show off your success, but feel empty. Because none of that is actually for you. You weren't living. You were performing. You weren't growing. You were surviving. How to spot a healthy value. Manson offers 3 questions to test any value. Can I control it? You can control being kind. You can't control being liked. Is it stable through change? Trends change daily. But honesty, growth, acceptance, these are timeless. Does it connect me to reality or hide me from it? Real values don't require masks, faking, or acting. They bring you closer to your truth. Metaphor. Bad values equals a game with no rules. Imagine you're in a game, but the rules keep changing. Today it's about charisma. Tomorrow it's about money. The next day, mindfulness. You adapt. You hustle. You burn out. And then you realize you never even chose to play. Now imagine something else. You got an internal compass. It doesn't promise ease, but it gives clarity. You know why you're walking your path. And most importantly, it's your choice. One crucial question from Manson. Whose values are these, yours or someone else's? If you strip away the noise, the ads, the influencers, what do you actually care about? What really matters? Not for your image, but for your soul. Try this. Take a piece of paper. Write down your 5 biggest values, the ones that shape your life. Now ask where they come from. Do they empower you or pressure you? Do they bring peace or anxiety? Sometimes just seeing the truth is the start of real freedom. Final thought. Values are filters. They decide what's worth your energy, your time, your stress. If that filter is broken, you'll suffer even while looking successful. But if you build your values on honesty, growth, acceptance, you'll stop trying to prove yourself. And finally, just start being yourself. Chapter 6. It's time to say no, fail better, and live with death in sight. There comes a point in every honest life where 3 uncomfortable truths start knocking louder and louder. You can't say yes to everything. You will fail. And one day, you will die. Most people spend their lives running from these facts. Mark Manson? He leans into them and shows us why they might just be the keys to real freedom. The power of an O. A gateway to meaning let's start rejection. Not just being rejected, but rejecting things yourself. We grow up thinking that saying no is selfish. That rejection is unkind. We're taught to be agreeable, to keep doors open, to never upset others. But here's the cost. Every yes you didn't mean is a slow erosion of your identity. Manson reminds us, you have a limited number of FS to give, so you better give them wisely. Don't worry, we'll say energy instead. If your attention is currency, then no is how you invest wisely. You can't care about everything. You're not meant to. Trying to please everyone is like trying to catch the wind with your bare hands. And here's the beauty. Saying no to the wrong things opens up space for the right things. For what really aligns with your values, your mission, your peace. It's not rejection out of cruelty. It's rejection out of clarity. So next time you hesitate, ask yourself, is this choice honoring who I am or who I'm afraid to disappoint? Failure is the price of admission we all want to win, to succeed, to look like we have it all together. But let's be real, that's not how growth works. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the down payment on any meaningful progress. Manson is blunt. If you want a life worth living, expect to fail. Often, publicly, painfully, and that's okay. Think of any story worth telling. It probably began with something going wrong. That moment when your plan fell apart, when the business tanked, when the relationship ended. That's the soil where real transformation begins. Failure doesn't mean you're weak. It means you showed up. You tried. You learned. You dared. Mark shares stories of his own crashes, blog posts that bombed, dreams that dissolved, personal regrets. But instead of seeing those moments as shameful, he reframes them. Every failure taught him what really mattered. Not the image, not the applause, but the pursuit of truth and the strength to keep going. When you stop fearing failure, you start living on your own terms. Death, the final editor of your life and now, the deepest truth of all, you will die. That sentence alone can make people shift in their chairs. But it's not meant to terrify. It's meant to clarify. Manson doesn't bring up death as a dramatic flourish. He brings it up as a compass. Because when you remember that this ride isn't forever, you start asking better questions. Like, why am I wasting time on things I don't even care about? Why am I trying to impress people I don't even like? What would I do differently if I had 5 fewer years? He shares how losing a close friend shattered his worldview and rebuilt it. In grief, he didn't run from life. He ran toward it. That moment wasn't just personal. It was pivotal. It planted the seed for this very book. Death humbles us. It cuts through ego, noise, and performance. It's the ultimate editor, crossing out the unnecessary and underlining what really counts. Here's the irony. The more you remember death, the more alive you become. You stop living like you have unlimited tomorrows. You start living like today actually matters. A new truth. Rejection, failure, and death are gifts. This chapter flips everything upside down, what we've been trained to avoid. Manson tells us to embrace rejection as a tool to refine your life, failure as proof that you're in the game, death as a sacred reminder that you don't get to do this forever. This isn't about being cynical. It's about being awake, present, intentional. When you say no to what drains you, when you let yourself fail with dignity, when you keep death in sight, not as fear but as fuel, that's when life becomes clear. That's when you stop drifting and start choosing. So ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that I should have said no to a long time ago? What failure have I been too afraid to risk, even though it's tied to something I care about? And if I had just a few years left, what would I stop postponing? Because this isn't a rehearsal. This is a real thing. Conclusion, the subtle art of meaning. And here we are at the final chapter. Maybe along the way, something felt uncomfortable. Maybe it hit close to home. Maybe you resisted. Maybe somewhere deep down, something clicked. That's good. That's the point. Because real books don't just give answers. They awaken questions. And the subtle art of not giving a damn is exactly that kind of book. Mark Manson doesn't teach us to be indifferent. He teaches us to be honest. And if you made it to this point, chances are you've already sensed the core message of the whole book. Not giving a damn isn't about apathy. It's about meaning. You have limited resources in a world that constantly tells you be everything for everyone, where your attention is pulled in 100 directions at once. The most powerful skill might sound strange, knowing how to say no. No to toxic expectations. No to other people's standards. No to all the noise that drowns out your own voice. Manson reminds us, you have a limited amount of energy, attention, and time. That's not a flaw, it's a feature. It's not a weakness. It's your power to choose. And that's where not giving a damn becomes a strategy, not a shield. You stop trying to be everything. You stop spreading yourself thin. You begin to focus. You don't need to be perfect. Just real. One of the most damaging ideas of our time is the obsession with perfection. Be better. Do more. Never fail. But the fear of failure kills creativity. The fear of judgment paralyzes growth. The chase of perfection makes us. All the same, Manson insists you don't need to be perfect. You need to be authentic. And authenticity includes flaws, missteps, doubts. It's the courage to say, this is what I stand for, and this I'm letting go. It's the strength to not have it all figured out. That's where not giving a damn helps. It's not about detachment. It's about maturity. About choosing your battles, your values, your truth. Not giving a damn is like editing your life. Take a moment to think. How many things do you do out of habit? Out of pressure? Because that's just the way it is. Because everyone else is doing it. Because what if I regret not doing it? Not giving a damn doesn't mean destroying everything. It means refining. Think of it like art. Sometimes the greatness of a masterpiece lies not in what the artist added, but in what they chose to leave out. Your life is the same. You can't have it all, but you can choose what truly matters. One final question now that we talked about pain, failure, fear, honesty, rejection, and mortality. Now that we've not just unpacked a book, but explored parts of ourselves. Ask yourself this slowly. What do I truly give a damn about? You might not have an answer right away, but the fact that you're asking means you're already closer to it. Thank you if you made it this far. Thank you. This isn't just a video. It's a conversation, and it becomes real when you take part in it. Subscribe if you want more meaningful content, real book breakdowns, and ideas that make you think. Like the video if it resonated with you. And tell us in the comments, what are you letting go of? What will you start choosing differently? And remember, meaning was never outside. It's been within you all along. Now, you're just ready to hear it.